do you see the need of more macro policy coordination between the two countries in light of what we just discussed, that the two countries need to deepen their financial and economic cooperation to fend off external risks? And how do you value the financial stability in light of the recent banking turmoil in the US and Europe and its possible impact on economic recovery?
But I mean, this financial turmoil is really more a US story than a European story. Basically, we see here a difference in the way in which the financial regulation, which was decided after the Great Recession in 2008 and 9, have been applied on the two sides. The reason why there was a problem in the US was basically because the failing bank, the SVB, was not reported or not considered as a systemic bank because it was the 16th bank in the US, and basically this bank didn't have to follow the rules which had been decided a few years before to regulate financial markets. This is not true in Europe. In Europe, most banks have to follow the rules, and what happened with SVB would not happen with French banks. I'm not saying that European banks are not affected by the increase in the interest rates. All the banks are being affected by that, but there is certainly not the kind of risk that we have seen as the consequence of the shock on the SVB in the US. Now, you could say that the Swiss banks have not been doing very well lately, in particular the Credit Suisse, which has just been bought by UBS in a kind of emergency rescue. Is certainly not a good sign, but this is not a problem of the banking system. The Credit Suisse story is essentially a problem of a single bank, which made mistakes and which for years has been non-profitable, and many people knew that this bank would have problems. Now, the problems did appear because of the shock on the international banking system due to the Silicon Valley Bank story. But I don't think that there is any danger on the European side. And for the moment, the financial systems are rather resisting all those shocks. And I think that we can be confident for the future. On the other hand, we could also see that China has also its banking problems. And it is fortunate that Evergrande was able to get an agreement with the foreign creditors lately, because as in many countries in the world, it is true that there is a kind of over-indebtedness in China that is possibly the source of instability. This is also the case in the US and the case of Europe. So we must be careful, but I don't see any danger in the next next months or even a few years.